What's going on, my YouTubers, subscribers, Pixar fans? I hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend because we got a brand new movie coming at you this weekend for the family, and that is the long anticipated Inside Out 2. Newest movie from Pixar, got a chance to see it, and Inside Out 2, how was it? Well, I gotta say, as far as the sequel goes, it was a great sequel, a worthy sequel, and a near perfect sequel. Overall, that was pretty good. In a nutshell, fellas, this movie does everything that a sequel should do. It pretty much takes what worked in the first movie and just builds on that foundation, tries new ideas, tries new things, pretty much just innovates itself to be something even greater. I love when sequels can do that. It's just not like let's rehash what worked in the first movie. No, it's like, yeah, the first movie happened, now let's take that foundation and build up, make it better. And they did a great job. I really don't have any bad things to say about this movie, so let's just get into it. Let's go to pros and cons. Why I believe that Inside Out 2 is officially in theaters now. Check it out. Get the kids, get grandma, get the family, get the dog. Check this movie out. And here's why. While I'm adding in the movie, like I said, when it comes to animation movies, I just do characters. Don't know the voice actors, don't know. As far as the characters go, joy, sadness, anger, disgust, and fear. They're all back in the movie and they're all great. One big highlight I could say is the fact that I felt like in this movie, it wasn't just the joy show, it wasn't just joy and sadness, and featuring crew. This one really felt like everybody, even the new emotions were like really off front and center. They were like all the main characters. Not even like so much just like, oh, it's just joy and the rest is just sport. Everyone did their fair share, really loved all of them. Plus the new emotions too, we got anxiety. She's kind of like, I'm not gonna say the antagonist, just because it's a kid's movie. I like anxiety. The character, she did a phenomenal job. She really represents anxiety and teenagers, just crazy. The other ones had good emotions too, like I said, we all loved, what was his name? Embarrassment. That was the big lovable one. Love him too. Plus also, I could say Riley herself, I felt like she was even more of a character in this movie than I felt like she was in the first movie, because the first movie kind of felt like she was just kind of like a pilot, like a vessel for the plot. It made me feel like, oh, she's actually like a real important character in this whole thing. It's not just like the emotions controlling her. She has a will of her own, and she makes some choices that she's making without the emotions helping her, and it just makes for a really interesting plot point. All the characters were great. Loved it. Plot movie more or less. Okay, we got Riley. She's 13 years old, and now she's pretty much going to this hockey camp, and she's got to prove herself to get on the hockey team or whatever, but she's also facing challenges because her friends are going to another school, and she's got to impress the new girl, and the emotions are just running rampant and shit, so new adventure shenanigans. I'll say the plot is really simple to follow for, kids. Like I said, this movie is made for families and kids, so they got to be able to follow this shit. I will say, they'll be able to get it. They'll be like, oh, here's the problem. Here's the solution. But it's a movie, like I said, it's Pixar. Visually, the movie is absolutely stunning. It's great. The colors are popping and everything. I saw it in Dolby. It was just incredible on that aspect. That's just, like I said, that's just Pixar. They just make beautiful looking movies. So, no duh. The real meat and potatoes is the fact that this movie is deep as shit. It's deep, but also not too deep that it's beyond me and beyond the audience. It's just wow, it's really emotional moments happening, a lot of things. It's a lot of life lessons you learn in the movie that's just whoa, this shit's hitting me. Good shit, Pixar. Another thing I'm really going to point out, the fact that I love that the original emotions, when they're trying to, get back to Riley to help her, stuff like that, they go through some real challenging situations, stuff that they sometimes don't get themselves out of, and I like that. I like when my main characters are challenged and try to figure stuff out. They got to brainstorm, not just make it be like, oh yeah, something happened, now they got through that, because that's what the plot, that's what the story is, that's what's written on the script. There's a lot of times in the movie just how are they gonna get out of this? How? The cons I got for the movie is the fact that it's not even a con about the movie itself. It's just the fact that the first Inside Out was just such an original idea, something that was just kind of mind blowing for me. That the fact that the sequel is not going to have that lightning in a bottle effect, oh shit, it's something I never saw before. I'm pretty much just okay, how can they build upon this to make it better? And they do, and it was great. It does have that emotional moment in the movie that, all Pixar movies got that heartful moment where you're hit me right in the feels. Ow. At the end of the day, Inside Out 2 had a really good time with this movie. I felt like this was a great sequel to the original. Actually, a nice, good companion piece to the original. That's what I like Pixar movies to do. I like movies to do in general. When you got a sequel to make it be oh, you can watch both of them. And it's really good, one whole story. Characters are great. The animation was great. The story was great. The emotional moments were there. really don't have any bad things to say about the movie, so I'm gonna pull the trigger and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say that Inside Out 2 is definitely a 10 out of 10, which is definitely fucking awesome. It feels great to give it 10 out. I feel like this is my first 10 of the year, so yes, that feels great. Let's keep the 10s going. Inside Out 2, especially in theaters now, you're going to see it, you're not going to see it, type below, let me know your thoughts on it, help you go check it out and see the movie and support it, because it was that good. As always, subscribe. Until next time.